somebody could only like take so much for so long, and it's not happening anymore. Like, I'm done. Like, and after they watch this season, I think everybody's gonna their minds is gonna be blown away.
Like you said, Teresa, we were chatting backstage on Dancing with the Stars. I was so sad to see you go, but now we get to focus on the podcast.
Yeah, so that's why last week, the podcast came out, and then I was like, oh my God, it was hard. I was like, I had to take like time out to do that. But really, I was like, my main focus was Dancing with the Stars. So I guess there's a reason for everything. So it's like now, I could focus on my podcast,
Definitely. Let's talk about the podcast. I mean, how did the two of you connect, and why did you want to do Namaste Bitches together?
Want to start?
Yeah. So I mean, of course, who doesn't love Teresa? But I know her attorney well and had him on my podcast that I had, Side Piece. And so then I was like, yo, I met Teresa at, where did we meet for first? Oh, at Ultimate Girls Trip.
In LA, yeah.
Yeah, so they were doing the Ultimate Girls Trip premiere here in LA. I'm in LA. And I went as Cynthia Bailey's date.
Nice.
And then Teresa and I met for the first time. And then I said, to her attorney, Jim, I'm like, yo, Teresa and I should do a podcast. I mean, we're both crazy. I'm the crazy on the LA. She can have the East Coast, and then we can unite for Namaste Bitches. And that's kind of how it all started. Like, Teresa and I talked a lot in between and met and this and that. But then we finally, it took months.
Yeah, and I was going to do a podcast with someone else. And then I guess, look, it all works out. Everything. I always believe everything happens the way it's supposed to happen.
Definitely. No, and I've listened to the first 2 episodes, and I love the banter that the two of you have. It's really a lot of fun and a light conversation, but we also get to know you on a different level. So I know, Teresa, you said, pretty much everybody thinks they know everything about you. We've been following along your journey for so many years, but what is something new that they're going to learn about you on this podcast? Because this is you just talking and kind of, getting to know you on a different level.
Well, all right. So tell me what you think about me. Like, who do you think I am from Real Housewives in New Jersey?
Oh, that's wow. Putting me on the spot here, Teresa. I mean, I think that you are a family woman who loves their family, loves their daughters. And, you are a tough woman, and you're a strong woman, and you stand up for what you believe in.
There you go.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, anything else?
And she is. And by the way, this is it. See, that is a thing that I always say too. And, we've had a lot of talks. It's like, this is the chance right now with Namaste Bitches to really get it out there, right? If people think that they know Teresa because they watch Real Housewives of New Jersey, they don't know the real Teresa, right? And even me, like, coming in, I've watched Jersey from the get-go. It's just night and day. And this is the opportunity for both of us to be out there and really say our truths, who we are, and really have people get to know us instead of what they just think that they know from watching a TV show.
Right.
So Melissa, like, before you met me, what did you think of me?
I think that you've been through a lot, that you're a badass. You don't take shit. Family first. If you screw with my family, I will, rip your face off. And I think that there is more to you than anyone can even imagine, and that Real Housewives of New Jersey is like a smidgen of who and what you are.
Well, I'm like really like a fun person. Like, I'm all about I'm really not about, like, in my real life, there's no drama. No drama at all. And I wake up happy every day. I'm all about I have like really good energy, and I so it's like, I know it's like when they look at Real Housewives in New Jersey, they're like, it's like drama.
Yeah.
And I guess
it's supposed to be.
Right.
And I guess because I'm the OG, like, everybody always comes for me, and which sucks, it really does. Like, I feel like if they come for the OG, it's like they get noticed. You know what I mean? Right. Or it's like, I think, or even when if anybody gets casted, I'm sure it's like, will you go up against Teresa? I'm sure they get asked that question, because then I've heard like other people afterwards, you know, they've like, you know, I've asked them, I'm like, well, what have they asked? You know, what have they told her? They're like, they wanted to know if I was scared of you. And I was like, oh my God. It's like,
because it puts them on the map, right? It's like you go against the OG, you're on the map now, right? Like you're in the fight because you're the OG. But like, that's what we don't see. You just said, Christina, too. Mom, I mean, the first thing you said is family and mom, right? Like, this is what we can talk about, the family stuff. Melania is sick in her time. Like, this is the podcast where we can say all those things that you don't see. And those are the most important things about Teresa: her marriage, her husband, her family, you know, those things, home life, being home, not being out and fancy and drama and this and that. Like, that's not who Teresa really is at the core.
I'm trying to do Dancing with the Stars forever. And like, they asked me like a long time ago, they've asked me several times to do it, but it just never worked out. So Bravo never said, you know, what timing with our show, it just didn't work out. So this time it was like a yes, because we were done filming. But then this time it was like a little crazy, because I got when I was on my honeymoon, and then it's like I got married, and then it's like bang, and then as soon as I come home, it's like I don't even get to hang out with my husband. I leave for Dancing with the Stars, you know. So, but listen, and then it all worked out. So I guess you know I had I got a taste of it. I got my feet wet. I'm going back for the finale. It was great. Oh my God, and it was so much work, but I loved every minute of it. And like I did, like, because I'm not afraid of hard work. And I like the way my body felt. Like, believe me, like in the beginning, my body hurt, but I liked it. Like, I like no pain, no gain. So it felt so good. Like, I want to keep dancing. Like, there's a Fred Astaire in my town. I just called them for directions. I mean, not directions. Like, I'm like, can you tell me, like, what's the like, how do you teach classes and all that? Because me and my husband want to come in, and but like, with Pasha, like I did it for 4 hours straight. Like, I want that.
Right. No, everybody that I talk to that goes on Dancing with the Stars, they always say that they notice such a big transformation in their bodies. Did you notice that as well?
Well, because think about it. I practiced the first week, 4 hours each day. The first week, 4 hours each day. So the first week before I started Dancing with the Stars, it was 10 days before. So altogether, with the whole thing was 3 weeks so far. So I did 10 days before, then I performed. Then the second time, it moved down to 3 hours. They move it down to 3 hours. But then I think, we were
doing like double duties.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
We were literally squeezing in like recording our stuff and doing stuff in between her dancing in the morning and then going back to dance in the evening. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to even keep up with her, let alone for her to be doing it.
You're like, I'm exhausted for you.
I was in Jersey, and then I had to fly back to LA each week, you know? So listen, I knew I wasn't going to win. But I had fun in the meantime. It was great. It was, it was something that I've always wanted to do. So I'm glad I got to do it.
Yeah.
Well, and Teresa too, what people might not know or listen to on our podcast, but because you did dancing and you had to fly out here to LA, all this time, everything we've been doing, the teasers, the promos, everything has just been Zoom, like coast to coast. We actually got to record our very first Namaste Bitches episode ever together.
Nice. In
LA. We set up the whole thing in her hotel. We kicked Louie out, took over. And we got to record. So that was like another cool thing that dancing brought us, because she was here in LA. So we got to record. It was just cool. It wasn't like we recorded our 5th episode or a promo. It was our very first one together in LA in her room.
I love that. And I know, Teresa, on your podcast, you do open up a little bit about on Dancing with, and this kind of goes back to the misconceptions that you want to clear up on the show, on the podcast as well, is that, you said when the package aired on Dancing with the Stars about your backstory, it kind of really threw you off, because that's just not what you want to be associated with anymore. So why does that still upset you so much? And why do you feel like the need that the people need to keep bringing it up?
Well, I mean, I guess it was my fault too, because I shouldn't have talked about it. And then Pasha told me afterwards, like, if I wouldn't have talked about it, they wouldn't have brought it up. I guess I was trying to tell them my story. So,
and you don't know that. You're just saying who I am.
Yeah. So I so I didn't like that. So, because it's like, that's been so long ago now, you know, that and like my whole thing is like, I still say, you know, like, listen, I only, like, the reason why I'm so, like, I don't like that is because I know I'm not a criminal. Like, I know there was no criminal intent. And I signed papers literally that Joe told me to sign. So it's like, but I don't want to like be known for that. So that's why, so for them to show that, and then I heard Dancing with the Stars is like a positive show. Yeah. That they always want to show you in a positive light. So that's why the first week I was like, I didn't like that so much. And then they're like, and then I said something. They're like, you know, we're never going to show any of that ever again. It's all going to be, you know, all good going forward, you know? Yeah. And then afterwards I heard that I shouldn't have talked about it because then they want to show that. And it's true, like I shouldn't have talked about it, but I didn't know that they were going to do that, you know? Yeah. So, and I'm very adamant about it because I know I didn't do anything. Like I mean, I did what I had to do, like time or whatever, but like, I know in my heart, that's why I walk with my head up high, because I know I didn't do anything, like, you know, in a criminal intent. I literally did sign papers that my husband told me to sign. Like, you know, it's closing. I was at a bank with lawyers there and they just used my credit, like used my signature, and that was it. And at the time, banks were giving money away like it was water. Right. Yeah.
So I think that's the thing too, though.
But like the bank, what?
I think that's the thing too, whether with Dancing with the Stars and them showing that package of what happened freaking 7 years ago, 6 years ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
It's like our podcast too. That it's like, you don't want to be known for that when you're doing Dancing with the Stars. And our podcast, like, we want to be able to tell people who you really are. Like, that's not really you. That was like,
I want to be able to tell women too, like, listen, make sure you do all your research. Like, just don't sign anything that you're like, for instance, I didn't know that my husband didn't file taxes for 10 years. I didn't know. I didn't know that. So that's how all this started. So I wanted, like, on our podcast, Melissa, like, I wanted to be able to educate women, like, make sure you know, make sure you look at the income taxes, make sure your husband is filing income taxes. Because I'm telling you, when the government came knocking on our door and said, I even gave him an attitude. I'm like, well, who are you? And then they're like, it's the government. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, yes, can I help you? Yeah. And the husband hasn't filed taxes. I'm like, what? And then right away, I was like, I got all scared. I was like, what? And I'm like, what do you mean he hasn't filed taxes? I'm like, and how long? And they're like, 10 years. I'm like, 10 years? You understand? My heart, like sunk into my stomach. I was like, what? And then, hello? Yep. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know, it went blank. So I want to tell women, like, don't be so naive like I was, you know? So I really want to help women out there. Yeah. Don't be like right after I got married, Joe was like, all right, don't go back to work. Cause I was working in the city. I was a sales rep for Calvin Klein and 9 West handbags. Right. And in the city. So, and then he told me to stay home and stay home with the kids. So I did. And then look, like, innocently, I get in trouble for just signing, 2 houses that he was flipping. And so I want to help other women out there to not make the same mistake that I made. Right. And maybe it would never happen to them. What happened to me, because I was on a TV show, and of course I know now they wanted to make an example out of me. Maybe another woman, a regular Ellen Smith, nothing will happen to her. You know what I mean? Yeah. But Teresa Giudice, that's on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, of course something happened to her, But
all those things we can take and try to help other people and talk about it.
Exactly.
Whether it's that, mom, marriage, relationships.
Well, And I thought like Dancing with the Stars was going to show that, like, wow, like, you know, look what she's overcome and stuff, you know, and all that beautiful stuff. Because, I mean, you know, everyone, I always hear that from people, like how inspiring I am.
Sure.
And I've helped so many people get through so many hard things in life, like cancer, just a lot of like things that people have told me. And that feel good. So then I'm like, maybe there was a purpose. I do think that. I'm like, all right, because I'm like, I would ask God, like, not to be like religious or anything, but I'm like, because I'm Catholic, I'll be like, really? Why did I have to go through this? But I guess there was a reason why, you know, God gave me this platform, or maybe like, yeah, to inspire other women out there. I am pretty strong. I am a pretty strong woman, and maybe to help other women out there to go through, you know, or even anybody, not even women, because men have come up to me and they've like, oh my God, you inspired me so much of everything that you've gone through.
Right.
And that was another thing to do the podcast. It's like there's so much you know to talk about. There's so much more depth. There's so many like things that we can, maybe our experiences can help others, and things like that in a positive way. Take the things that weren't maybe so positive in our lives and help people in a positive way.
Right. And you also prove that you can always have a second chance at love. And I know that you just recently got married. Congratulations. You looked absolutely beautiful. The wedding was beautiful. And I know, Melissa, you were there and you talked about the wedding on the podcast. I mean, was this wedding everything that you dreamed of and more? And how is newlywed life treating you?
Yeah,
I haven't gotten to enjoy it too much yet because of Dancing with the Stars, but now that you got to settle into newlywed life.
Yeah, so, and Louis so happy that I'm home. No, you understand, like he's planning to have a party for me this weekend. I'm like, babe, you do not need to do, he just told me, Melissa, I don't know if you heard about it, but you're living in LA, maybe that's why you didn't hear about it, but like Dolores, he called Dolores like to get all my friends together.
Oh,
it's surprise
for dancing.
What?
To celebrate you doing Dancing with the Stars?
Celebrate me, like how, like I accomplished this, and because I had been MIA for the past, like, first of all, I got married, I went on my honeymoon. Like my honeymoon was kind of like a month long, you know, because I went to LA for Dancing with the Stars. Then his best friend got married, went to Florida. So I've been gone since my wedding, like then a month later, then plus 3 weeks. So I've been gone like maybe since my wedding, 2 months, after my wedding, 2 months. So I've been MIA. So like, I guess he wanted to have like a little party and get together with all my friends and just celebrate me. And I'm like, babe, you don't have, like, he's so thoughtful. He's so amazing. I'm like, babe, you don't have to do that. I'm like, I will see my friends, no worries, you know? And like, yeah, listen, you believe that? He wanted to do that for me? So freaking cute.
Yes,
like,
I believe that.
Yeah,
he did a huge thing. Like Dancing with the Stars is huge.
Wait, and poor guy gets like a headache. Like, I guess he didn't know what he was like really thinking about it. Like before, he's like, babe, do you mind if I lay down for a half hour? I'm like, yeah. I guess he was like, he's like the best, like the most romantic guy ever. Like he always plans things for me. And that then makes me feel bad because he's always doing stuff. So it's like, I'm like, please don't do any, like, because then I feel bad because then, you know,
do plenty for him. Because
then I feel like he's, so I'm like, babe, don't do anything. Just let me do stuff. Because I feel like he's always doing stuff. You know, like he just asked it's Gabrielle's birthday next Tuesday. He wants to take her to London because she's been saying she wants to go to London.
Oh.
So he wants to take her to London for her birthday. So
that's nice.
So we might go to London next weekend for her birthday.
Oh my God,
so,
you're like nonstop.
I'm telling you. So that's what I guess God was like, you know what? I think you need to come home and be with your husband. Yeah. And, like, because he really missed me so much. He missed me so much. He really did.
You talk a lot about the wedding on the podcast, and you said what struck me was that you had a lot of anxiety, a lot of nerves before, walking down the aisle. What was kind of going through your mind, and, what gave you that anxiety and nerves?
Well, because I don't like being center of attention, believe it or not. I don't. Like, even though I'm on the RealHousewives of New Jersey, but it's not. And like, I was getting nervous to walk down the aisle and like, everybody make a big deal about me, So I was like getting nervous about that. And then I was like, all right. And then I was like, all right, I got this. I'm like, I have to do it, you know? And then I did it. And
it was
you know,
the best.
Yeah. Say it again.
It was the best. It was awesome.
You. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty magical. I remember when I put my head down and lifted it up, everyone in the audience, like all my friends and stuff, said they even, like they heard people like gasp, like, like, right? Melissa, like when I picked my head up and I walked out. Yeah, it was, you know, I think everybody was like, they loved it, which was so nice. Yeah, I was just nervous. And same thing with Dancing with the Stars. I thought I was going to be nervous dancing live in front of everyone. And then I didn't get nervous anymore. I don't know why. Maybe because I practiced so much and I knew my dance. Like I wasn't nervous the first time. Like it wasn't. And, but I guess I was, because I did all my steps correct, my first dance. Yeah. But I guess they wanted more power into it, more, you know, more. And I tried, but like I was learning as I went, like with dancing, don't forget, like the Posh was like, he was showing me how to kick like with power. And I'm like, well, you've been dancing since you're 10 years old, you know?
It's a little different.
Like, I just learned 10 days ago. So it's like, it was crazy how every single day I would learn a new technique, like something new, like put your head this way, put your fingers this way, put your foot this way. And like he would teach me how to kick, but then no, kick this way. And then the last dance was a jive, kick with a hop in it. Like you have to hop as you're kicking. But no, I swear to God, like first it was like a kick, but then you have to kick and hop it, and that's better. And then that'll help your kick even better. It's so amazing how like every day I would learn a new thing that made my dance even better, you know? And then my second dance, Pasha told me, don't listen to your package. Don't listen to your package. Yeah. What do? Of course, it's my dad. Right. And I got a little bit emotional. So I got choked up.
Everybody got emotional. It's about your dad. Like, who wouldn't? Yeah. It'd be weird if you didn't.
And so, like, I wish they wouldn't show the package. So, but I mean, because I knew my second dance, I knew it again. I knew it perfectly. I did. And then, because listen, I was really close to my dad. I miss him tremendously. Everybody knows I was close to my dad. I don't think Dancing with the Stars knew how close I was with my dad. But Real Housewives in New Jersey knows how close I was with my dad. So I did get a little emotional. But then I ended up killing it. Like I ended it with a bang. And I think I did really good. Listen, you're supposed to have fun and smile on the dance floor. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
So,
I think you did great.
What it is. Maybe because I was on the bottom the first 2 weeks, and everyone did improve the second week. They really did. And, but it is, I guess, and then this is how I look at it. Like, I guess because I am a newlywed, it was time to come home, and I really am a mom first besides anything. Like that's why I was going back and forth, because my kids come first. Like they said to me, they're like, we'll get you a place out here in LA. And I was like, I can't, I just can't leave my kids for, and I'm sure if that was the case, I probably could focus even more. And, but I can't leave my kids. My youngest, she just turned 13 on September 14. So she turned 13. So I had a 12-year-old. So when I started Dancing with the Stars, she was 12. I have 12, 16, 17, and she is at college. So like they need their mommy.
Definitely. Yeah. It is a lot. It is a lot. You know, what I also like on the podcast is that you're kind of like taking headlines and dispelling some rumors. I found it interesting that you said that you would like Danielle back on the show over Caroline. Why is that?
Well, like now it's over because she just dug her own hole. Like, because like to throw me under the bus, it's like, for what? Meanwhile, it's like there's other people.
She doesn't want either, but if she had to pick.
I don't exactly. Now it's too late. Like Danielle, she kind of threw me under the bus for what? It's like, if I'm the one that brought her back. Like I brought her back on the show, and then to go out to lunch with Melissa and throw me under the bus, it's like, why don't you really talk about Melissa? Because you were the
other
one,
Melissa,
right?
Yeah. Because Melissa and you and her were talking about she was the one that told you I didn't go see my nephew in the hospital. Remember when I brought that up? And like, then I put two and two together. And then Danielle told me, I think back then, that Melissa's the one that told her that I didn't go see my nephew in the hospital. So it's like, why would you throw me under the bus when I brought you back, to come on Housewives? And Melissa's the one that you had lunch with, and then you throw me. I don't get how people work, you know?
And like herself.
And even the first time, like, I didn't want her to not come back on the show. Like Caroline and all of them didn't want her to come back on the show. I never said I never wanted her to be on the show. So that's why when I came back from going to jail, like, I met with her because then I was a single mom, and I was like, I just wanted her to know that I had nothing to do with any of that. Yeah. And then when I did yoga with her, Andy Cohen saw it, and Bravo, they all went nuts over it, and then that's how they brought her back.
How do you feel? I know we're not going to talk too much about this upcoming season, but how do you feel kind of going into it? I know we're probably a few months away from the premiere, but obviously a lot of stuff in the headlines, but how do you feel about going into this season?
Going into it?
Obviously it's filmed, it's done, but like, how do you feel like, that everybody's going to see it in a couple months, knowing what you know about what happened?
It's going to blow your minds away.
Great.
It's very sad. And I think everybody's going to get a true reading of, like, be like, wow, we were like people thought a certain way about me. And then they're going to be like, wow, we were so wrong. Yeah. Because I think about, like, when you watch the season, you have to have an open mind. Like, I kept my mouth shut a lot, over 10 years.
And that's why it's good too, like the timing that we started it now, because we have months and months to really get out there, and people can see a different side of Teresa before Jersey starts up again. And maybe they have like a different view on it after they see get a glimpse from the podcast of like more depth and who Teresa really is.
Sure.
Yeah, and don't forget, my parents were around back then. So I tried to keep the peace for a long time. And now, somebody could only like take so much for so long. And it's not happening anymore. Like, I'm done. Like, and after they watch this season, I think everybody's their minds is gonna be blown away,
Are you still sad?
Then go right into the wedding special.
Right. Are you still sad about it?
The weddings, no, I'm totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah. And it's like, and I think my parents are like, good, like, they're with me. They're like, you're good.
Yeah.
And that's why Louis came into my life. You understand? There's always a reason, a reason, a lesson, a blessing. Yes. Because it's like, it's enough. I got taken advantage for so long, for over 10 years. Like, I got taken advantage of, and finally, like, look, Louis came into my life. It was like, that's not happening anymore now. And
now it's happy and jam.
Yeah. Do you feel like almost like a weight is lifted off your shoulders a little bit?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And and like, I think their eyes are gonna, everyone's gonna be like, see, they're going to I think they're going to see the truth. Yeah. Like, of everything that's been really happening, it depends how, like, but I think there's no way to edit or do anything. Like, you're going to just basically say it, because of course editing has a lot to do with it all these years. But I think this time there's like, there's no getting around that, We
got to see a lot more of the Teresa.
I was going to say, Melissa, did you notice a difference in your friend?
I mean, I think every time I talk to her, it's just not what you expect and not what people expect from watching her on the show and seeing things. It's just, there's just so much more. And I think just with timing of everything, right? Like, timing of us starting, instead of like 6 months ago starting the podcast, we started it now, that we can do it pre-season, get people find out who she is, who I am. We just see everything in a different light. And I think that people are going to really, listen to the first 2 episodes. It's awesome. It's an awesome insight into who we are and more than you would just see on a show.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I don't want to just talk about Housewives like
Of course.
I want to just talk about life and every. Like I want guests to call in.
Yep.
And like, yeah, like, of course, like that's what I mean. Like I was given this platform for a reason. And if I want to help other people that, want to help for me and, sure they do. Like, so that's what I mean. I was given this for a reason. So I'm going to use it in that way.
Definitely. Teresa, there's one headline that I would love if you could clear up for me. Ramona, the whole wedding snafu with the invitation, was she disinvited to the wedding? Could you clear it up?
No, she was not disinvited, but then she didn't come. Okay. She like first she puts it out there and then she says she didn't, and then she didn't even come to the wedding. So, and you know what? I'm glad she didn't.
Not because she was disinvited. She just chose on her own.
She was not disinvited.
Yes.
She was not disinvited. But to do all that and then to not come, it's like, I'm glad she didn't come then,
Yeah.
Like
she sent a gift at least?
No, she did not send a gift.
No. Oh, Ramona.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't even want to talk about her because she's like, it's like such a joke to even like for her to do that. It's kind of embarrassing because like who does something like that, I mean, I heard she even showed her bank account on. So I guess, I mean, that's crazy to me. I don't know how people, and then and then she talked about me having like that I needed a brain and I was a scarecrow. I mean, I think it should be the other way around. I mean, I don't know, like if you're on TV, you don't show somebody's invitation,
Yeah, no, I appreciate you clearing it up.
Yeah, she was never disinvited, first of all, I would never do that. I would never give her that much attention, but she decided not to come and it's all good,
Like you said, everyone who was meant to be there was there.
Exactly. And that's what I said. And I'm telling you, if you were there, you would have felt like Melissa was there. Ask Melissa. Yeah. Because it's my wedding, of course. And, but I mean, I felt the love, like everyone there that awesome. You could ask everybody there. It was such a party. And everybody in there, everybody said they felt the love, with everyone. Like everybody wanted to be there and they had such a good time.
Oh, well, I cannot wait to see that wedding special. And I cannot wait to listen to more episodes of your podcast. I absolutely love it. And I really appreciate you both taking the time and speaking with me today.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. So they can get Namaste Bitches anywhere you get your podcasts.
Yes.
Apple, Spotify, everything.
Yes, you won't be disappointed. I'm going to have a step and repeat. Louis just ordered it for me. He's so cute. He's like, he's going to order.
I love it. I'll need to get one.
I love that. So
awesome.
With our picture, Melissa, and then.
I love it.
Yeah. So you should get one too. And
I'll get one.
Yes.
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.